Meow?
Captain Forrest here, and in today's video I'm going to be power scaling Sonic the Hedgehog. Now this version of Sonic I will be scaling is specifically from the movies, so movie Sonic or Paramount, so that will be the version of Sonic that I will be presenting today and talking about in this video. Now if you guys are new to my channel, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for further content. Also huge shout out to the HQ squad, massive shouts to the team, they've been a huge help in my videos, so huge shout outs to the team. So yeah, I watched both the movies, found some pretty good feats, and Sonic's pretty powerful. I figured I'd go over some feats and go over some scaling for Sonic. And yes, I am planning to scale game Sonic at some point. There's just a lot of games that I have to go through, a lot of scaling, but that will be at a later time. So I figured I'd kind of start things and work my way up. Start off with movie Sonic and see what he brings to the table. Now in the first movie, in the final fight, Sonic faces off against Dr. Eggman. Sonic starts to piece up Eggman's drone with homing attacks, and Sonic performs one final homing attack which destroys Eggman's drone and sends him into a portal, leaving him in the Mushroom Hill. This is impressive because the destructive force behind Eggman's lasers that came from his drone was calced around the large building to the city block levels of attack potency, and Sonic scales to this as he was able to destroy the drone. Sonic's emotions trigger a power within him. When he was running around in a circle, the electricity from his body releases around him, which caused an energy surge which pretty much EMP'd the whole of the Pacific Northwest and caused a power outage across the whole town. This feat was calced around the 52.43 to the 62.63 megatons of TNT, aka city level. Shoutouts to Tyler, he made this calc, so this is a really good calc folks. So easily, movie Sonic, some city level stuff in base, now we can take it higher. Another impressive feat for Sonic comes from the power that comes from Sonic's quill. Eggman used just one of Sonic's quills to power up a machine which shoots out a giant laser which creates a giant AoE which can be seen from space. There are some different calcs and ranges, and this was calced around the island level. There was also another calc for large country to moon level. However, the moon level and large country calcs are optional. It's up to you whether you agree with them or not. So if you want to just, lowball the feat, you can stick with island level. That's also a safe range that was accepted by Versus Battle Wiki. So regardless, even if we downgrade this, island level is very impressive, and that's just one of Sonic's quills, which is very impressive. Now before I talk about Super Sonic, I must talk about the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald. Eggman states that the Master Emerald will allow him to harness all of the negative forces of the universe. In the wrong hands, the Emerald could threaten all life in the universe. After Sonic defeated Eggman, Sonic gave up the power, and Tails states to Sonic that he was the most powerful hero in the universe with that power. Eggman was going to use the power of the Master Emerald to first enslave everyone to service his machines, then he will take control of Green Hill, the universe, and then the multiverse. Once Sonic turned into Super Sonic, he proceeded to casually intercept an attack from Eggman's giant robot, and then goes on to destroying the robot and defeating it effortlessly. Movie Super Sonic inverse wise is probably the strongest in the verse, so he's easily S tier, and if you take these statements seriously, Super Sonic would easily scale to universal, or you can argue some multiversal stuff. That is completely on the table, but I personally think universal is probably the safe bet, just to go with the safe route so we don't kind of jump the table. So I think universal. Those statements are pretty consistent. There's a lot of statements for it, and it just makes more sense due to the consistent universal statements as mentioned. So if we stick with these feats only, then Super Sonic would scale very high into the lesser tiers of AP, which I have brought up already for base Sonic. So that's going to round up attack potency. I'm going to go ahead and move on to speed. Sonic, when he was a young hedgehog, states that he can travel across the entire island in less than 2 seconds. A calc was made for this statement, which was calced around the massively hypersonic ranges of speeds. Later on in the first Sonic movie, we see Sonic perceive a barrage of bullets and missiles which appear slow to him. This was all calced around the 2.9%, and another calc was done for this feat, calculating it around the 6.3% the speed of light, aka subrelativistic plus. As for higher end scaling, the feat that Sonic performed in the first movie, where he caused a widespread power outage, Tails notes that the energy reached all the way to his home planet. This was calced around 81 million times the speed of light, aka massively hypersonic plus. So as for the overall ranges, Sonic, even as a kid, had massively hypersonic reaction speed and travel speed. When he gets older, he demonstrates he can react to bullets and missiles so fast that everything looks like a standstill, and things just look completely slow to him, which would put him in the subrelativistic ranges or subrelativistic plus, depending on what calcs you use. And the higher end scaling for Sonic comes from the speed and the energy that traveled light speed to Tails' planet, which would put Sonic in the massively faster than light plus ranges of speed, which is very impressive for movie Sonic. There is also a statement for Tails noting that Sonic is the fastest creature in the galaxy, so there's some statements and just general feats to kind of back up Sonic's prominent speed feats, which is very impressive. Now, there are some other low end speed feats for Sonic. You know, he can casually run up to around the 300 miles per hour range. He can casually blitz bear traps before they can even activate, and Sonic is fast enough to use a screwdriver to deconstruct a moving truck, slowing it down to a halt. So he has some casual low end speed feats to that caliber, which is very impressive even for base Sonic. So there's some really nice ranges for Sonic you can take him, so it's just up to your own interpretation. Now, that's going to pretty much round up his stats. I'm going to move on and talk about some of his abilities. So due to Sonic being a speedster, Sonic runs so fast everything appears slow to him in his perception. While moving at high speeds, Sonic can use inertia on his opponents. While using inertia, he can also interact with bullets and missiles and move hazards out of the way. Sonic has the ability where he can generate power from his body and use it to make him run faster, such as the time in the second movie he charged himself up to run across the ocean. He can also generate this energy in order to attack his opponents with a spin dash and homing attack, or he can lace his fists with his energy. Sonic can also fire lightning from his hands. You can also argue for Sonic having some energy absorption, since he did try to absorb some of the energy back from Eggman's drone. His energy can also be argued to be EMP, so just due to the fact that it caused a power outage, you can argue some, power nullification for like devices and electronics. Dr. Eggman's analysis machine demonstrates that the energy coming from Sonic's quill is unlimited. Sonic uses his speed to run around in a circle around Eggman's drone to cause a small sandstorm so that Sonic can run away. Sonic also carries a small bag of rings, folks. The rings open up a portal to any location that the person thinks of. Sonic uses these rings to do so in order to travel to different places and worlds. He's shown to use these rings in combat situations to try and escape his opponent. He can BFR them, or he's used it to save his friends and allies. Lastly, Sonic's transformation, called Super Sonic. Once Sonic activated the 7 Chaos Emeralds, he turned into Super Sonic. This form gave him the ability to fly, gave him incredible power and speed, and due to how the emeralds work, the user can manifest thoughts into reality, also shown by Sonic when he summoned a chili dog. So in this form, Sonic can want reality, which is pretty impressive. So that's going to round up this video. Overall, Sonic is very powerful in terms of his movie version. It's actually impressive, folks. So easily, some low-end feats. He has some building level, large building level, city block scaling. There's some higher stuff you can take it. Easily, you can get him to small city plus. You can get him to city level. City level plus is also a good range. And then there's an island level feat which you can use for him with the quill. And if you want to take it a step higher and use, different calcs, there's some stuff for large cunning for base Sonic. Now, of course, if we move on to Super Sonic and include the universal statements, you can easily get Super Sonic to universal, or you can get him to multiversal if you take that statement from Dr. Eggman seriously. Universal, I think, is more consistent in my opinion. I think universal is a solid level of AP for Super Sonic. Or if you downgrade Super Sonic and ignore those statements and stick with base Sonic's feats, then Super Sonic would pretty much be very high into those tiers that base Sonic has performed. But anyway, as for speed, easily Sonic can reach the supersonic speeds. He can reach hypersonic, high hypersonic, massively hypersonic. There's some subrelativistic speed feats, and there's an MFTL feat that he performed. That's also a range you can use as well. And with, of course, Supersonic, those level of speeds in those different tiers, he just scaled very high into them. But anyway, that's going to round up this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for the content. It's been real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.